I just need to do some voice warm-ups because I feel very raspy and
If you start with like a little sing, like la,
a little sing
a little sing,
or a little song.
a little song. Well, like a sing because you're singing, you know.
Okay. Do re. Checking our phones.
Or
Oh.
Oh, there
Ashlee,
it looks
do you
like
wanna
there's a
read it
message.
this
I'm
time?
scared. Yeah, I'll read it this time. Dear Ashlee and David, welcome back to another episode of Student Life 101, where you recount your student experiences as you battle each other in a series of games. Speaking of battles, today you will be playing a game of Battleship. I love Battleship. The goal is to sink all of your opponent's ships before they sink yours. Every time you miss a ship, you must answer a question asked by Katya, your host, relating to the theme of navigating classes. That's so cool. If you get
Scary.
hit, scary. If you get hit, oh no, I missed my spot. If you get hit or a hit, you can keep going until you miss. The first to play this game is the winner of last episode's game, me, myself, and I, Ashlee. Good luck on your games, your dearest producers. B9.
Okay, wait. What's the yellow and what's the
Yellow is a miss. Red is a hit.
miss?
Miss.
My turn, right?
No, Ashlee, you gotta answer a question.
I gotta answer a question. Okay.
Okay, Ashlee, what do you think is the optimal course load per semester and why?
Okay. So taking 4 classes per semester, I've stuck with that for several years now. And it's a really good balance because I still have enough time to have a personal life, but I find that I still have also enough time or a lot more time to focus on my studies.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It depends on your personal situations, but I think 4 is a good happy medium.
And it also depends on how, I guess, fast you want to get through university.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to just speed run and get through everything. So I did end up doing 5 classes while working at one point, maybe for like 2 years of my degree. And definitely my grades did suffer.
Yeah.
But then I also took 1 course and my grades still suffered. So it was probably just my study habits. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, David, your turn.
Wait, do I put these things on the top part?
Yes.
Okay.
Red is a hit.
A1.
A1.
Mm-hmm.
Miss.
Mm.
Whoa.
David, have you ever been in a study group?
No. I'm sure you knew that, Katya, but I could never study with other people.
Oh.
Yeah, just because I will end up talking, not doing any work.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and even if I do it by myself, I'm not going to be able to study
Huh.
for a long period.
So you just can't study.
I
at
really
all.
can't study. I mean, the only time I would be able to study is if it's like, 24 hours before a test. And if I knew I had to, or else I'll fail. But if I know that I could pass, then I may study or I may not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you should study as much as you.
So then is your goal in school, was it ever to get high grades or was it just to pass?
It was to get high grades at first, but then as the courses got harder, I'm like, I just want to pass.
but I feel like if you're in STEM, like if you're in
You gotta
engineering or stuff,
study.
you gotta study with a group
Yeah.
because otherwise you go insane. It's like if you're stuck on a certain problem,
Yeah.
it's very nice to have that, perspective from a friend, and then you help each other out.
I think that's so true because, well, with sciences, almost all of your classes you have a lab for. And I can speak on this a little bit just because my first year was
Mhm.
sciences. And when you have to do a lab, you barely have enough time in the week to get your normal assignments done, let alone prepping for the lab and writing the lab report at the very end, right? And being able to sit down with a group of people in my first year to go through those together while we struggled and didn't understand what was happening. It was good. It felt good to know that other people were struggling with me.
Okay. I think
My turn. My turn. All right. I'm going to sink your ships. Okay. Let's go with D7.
miss.
No. Okay.
Ashlee, what's your biggest advice for time management?
Oh, my advice for time management is to use a calendar. My first year, I don't think I really understood how much a calendar is really helpful.
On your phone, right?
On
Not
my
like
phone.
a physical one.
Well, even
Okay.
having a physical calendar
Okay.
works too. But specifically on my phone, I have everything in my Google Calendar. And what I do is at the beginning of every semester, I put in every single test date, every single assignment date,
Me
and
too.
anything that I ever need to have is always in my calendar. And I make sure there's always also a reminder several days before that goes off, just so that I see it in my phone, because
Mhm.
obviously I'm on my phone every day.
Do you like
There's
change the colors for your
I do.
stuff? Okay, I do that too.
I have different things that are for tests. So like all my tests are blue, and then all my papers are, I think I make them usually like pink or peachy colored.
I do sticky notes actually. So I would put it on my calendar on my phone, but then I'd also like write it down and make
Yeah.
those sticky notes look pretty and everything and post it on my wall.
Ah,
And then when I'm done with an exam or with a paper, then I can like peel it off and it's so satisfying.
that's so nice.
And then I cross it out on my
Yeah.
syllabus as well. Like I like to print my syllabi,
Yeah, I think syllabi is the right one. Yeah.
syllabuses, and actually cross out everything because then you can see like your progression and how close you are to finishing. Next question. All right,
Well, you gotta go first.
Mhm.
You're just assuming you're gonna miss. No.
J10.
J10. Hit.
You spoke too soon.
No.
Okay.
You get to continue
Keep going.
Oh.
until
okay.
you miss.
I10.
Miss.
David, do you prefer sitting in the front of the classroom or in the back?
I think you know my response for that. The back. Just because I get so distracted. Actually, wait.
That's
That's the
seems
opposite. Wait,
counterproductive.
No, it is counterproductive because when I do sit in the front, I'm worried about what other people are thinking about me from behind. Like
Ah,
what I'm searching, because I like to,
not be
read-
paying attention to class.
essentially read the news, check my emails. I'll read the newsletters from like the School of Business. And I'm always like so conscious that people behind me are judging.
Mm.
Because when I'm sitting in the back, I am looking at the people in front and judging what they're doing. So, yeah, I definitely do sit in the back because I feel like it's more comfy for me knowing
Okay.
that there's no one watching over me.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I do know I am kind of more productive in the front though.
All right, David, I'm gonna go with B4.
Miss.
How do you deal with becoming overwhelmed with the amount of work you have to do?
Yeah, so what I usually do is I'll sit down and I will make sure that I plan just 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit in front of my computer. I'm going to throw every other distraction in my house or wherever I am away so that I don't have it near me. I can't look at it. All of my ringers are off. And I just sit down for 15 minutes and I get started. And then once I start that thing, it's a lot easier to just get it done and keep going. I think the other part of it too, though, is that when I have so many things to do, I put them all out on a list. And I make sure every night, like, especially when I'm like in my biggest like overwhelm stage, every night I sit down before bed and I pull it all out on a list. Otherwise, I'm going to be thinking about it while I'm trying to sleep and I'm not getting the rest that I need. So I put it all out on a list. The next morning, what I do is I take one thing from that list, I write it down on a piece of paper and I work on that one thing and forget about the rest. But I know that it's there. It just doesn't have to sit in my mind anymore. And then I can finish, work through that, and then I can cross that off my list. And then I go on to the next thing. But I make sure it's not like the whole list sitting in front of me because that kind of adds to the overwhelm.
Whose turn is it?
It's your turn, I think. No.
9. Jay.
No, it's a hit and you sunk my battleship. I'm so sad.
You can leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
E5.
No. Miss.
Have you ever forgotten that you had a test and showed up unprepared?
Yes, I actually did. So I had a midterm. This was my second year in university. And I wrote down, I think, the date wrong on my calendar. So that's another mistake that you can do
Oh, yeah.
when
I've
planning
done
things
that
out.
before.
Because like you got to make sure everything is like in the exact same date, or else if you don't check it, you're just gonna assume that your calendar's right and then miss that exam.
It's only helpful if you put it like a week ahead of when it's supposed to be. Then you're like, oh, I finished it early.
I do. Like I try to like move my calendar dates maybe a day or two in advance.
Yeah.
But then I forget that I did that, so then I'd move it even further, and I'm like, when is the actual due date?
Yeah.
Okay, but back to the question. I did miss my midterm because I did put the date down wrong. And I went on, I thought I just had like a free day to do whatever because there was nothing on that day. And then it was like a week after, I think, that I realized, oh shoot, I missed my exam.
Oh my God.
And this was online during COVID.
Oh, like, so you just never showed up
I
to
just
it?
never showed up.
Oh my God.
And I was like so worried. That's like the first time I've ever like missed an exam. So I emailed my professor and she was like, yeah, we'll move it to the final. And I was like, okay, is it that easy?
Yeah.
But I think it's only for that class. So it depends on your professor. But yeah.
That makes sense.
So I did miss it, but it wasn't like the end of the world. And even if you do miss that exam, and if I did take like a 0 or something, I'd still pass. And yeah.
I'll do F8.
Oh. Miss.
No. I'm really failing at this game here.
Ashlee, do you prefer to study at home, in a cafe, or in a library?
I absolutely hate studying at home. I hate being in a place where my TV and my games and my bed exist just because I know that I will get distracted by something. And on top of that, I have like no motivation to actually sit there and study, like I said, just because there's nobody around me studying, nobody around me doing any type of work. So I will say I prefer a cafe or a library over my place. Doesn't really matter. Even just like small corners on campus, I prefer over my place.
What corners on campus?
That's very random, yes. Just like there's some study rooms that you can find sometimes that are really nice and they have lots of bright light and windows. And I really like the vibe in there. So I'll study in there, or even like the room we're currently in. I kind of like. So I prefer them over studying at home. I prefer libraries the most.
Okay.
I spent most of my time in a library last year. More time there probably than I spent at home, to be honest.
But for me, it's like home, the library, and the cafe.
Okay.
The reason why I put like a cafe or anywhere where I have to spend money last is because I have to spend money.
Yeah, of
and
course.
I feel obligated to, buy something, even though I know you don't have to. Actually, I think you do have to if you go to a cafe.
Well,
right?
it's recommended, but I don't know. It's kind of funny you say that because regardless of if I'm like in a cafe or not, I probably have a cafe drink with me at the library. So I spend money either way.
I also don't drink coffee. You knew that, but I don't know if the viewers knew that. But yeah.
I don't drink coffee. I don't know how you do it. I need coffee to get through university.
Trust me, I'm struggling right now.
Yes.
My turn. H3. H3.
Oh, you're asking me? Okay, hit.
G3.
Miss.
David, being that you don't drink coffee, do you have any other things that you drink or eat or do so that you keep your energy levels up?
I like drinking water and having to
I like drinking a basic human need.
and having to drink water, I guess, a lot makes me, go up and go to the bathroom pretty often, which means I have to actually move and get my energy levels up. But besides that, no, I just drink. I love water.
Let's do E6.
Missed.
Oh my gosh. That's almost chaos. Okay, I haven't had a single hit yet. I'm really slacking.
It sounds like you're addicted to vape or something.
That was a wild hit.
No.
Wait, he didn't hit anything.
Yeah, it was a wild miss.
Oh, okay.
And what we're gonna do is we're actually going to play a little mini game, and it's called Pixel Picture Puzzle Game.
Wow, it's not like we're playing a mini game right now.
So how this works is we're gonna show you a little picture up there on the screen, and you have to guess the location.
We have whiteboards.
It's a whiteboard.
Ashlee's yours is upside down. All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to blurt this out. I don't know the name of this.
Oh, I was trying to erase it with my hands. Arts Convocation Hall.
Old Arts Building.
Same thing.
No, the Convocation Hall is behind that.
No.
I think I win.
The correct answer is Arts and Convocation Hall.
I don't go to campus that often.
Are you ready?
Isn't that the exact same one?
No. No. Oh, I know where this is.
Oh, no.
Wow, Ashlee. You got it.
Yeah,
Another
pharmacy and
point for
dentistry.
Ashlee.
I think it's just about to finish construction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she's writing the full thing.
Is it? Am I wrong?
No, David got it right. It
Is it
CSIS.
CSIS?
CSIS.
Okay,
Bonus
but is it
points
the part
to-
of CSIS connected to the biosci building?
That's true.
Okay,
I
it is.
TA'd in that.
You're smart.
Yeah.
That being said, bonus points to whoever can actually name the full name.
I couldn't. That's what I was thinking. I couldn't
Oh.
remember it.
Do I have to write it down or can I speak it?
You can say it.
Center for something in
Centennial.
Center for
Center-
Interdisciplinary Sciences.
Right.
Interdisciplinary Sciences.
It's the Centennial Center for Interdisciplinary Science.
I actually
North
didn't say
Lexington.
Centennial,
I
so
didn't know it was Centennial. You should give that to David.
Yeah.
He knew it. I know where this is too. Wait.
that's the funny looking building.
Correct. Both get a point.
Humanities. I know where this is too. Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Interesting. Both of you are so close, but it's not quite because it is the Agriculture Forestry
No.
Center.
It's just the home of ales. It's not actually.
The wood.
Darn.
Should have gave the hint, the forestry.
I'll give both of you half points for at least having the first part of it correct.
What? It's probably like engineering.
I would think so, right? But like, what is part of engineering? Where is this? This is so wrong. No, it's not that. I'm not gonna put that.
Show it. What was it?
It was like Eka, but I don't think it's Eka.
I was gonna say that too, but
What?
oh, okay. I know.
So U of A is correct. It's just the University of Arizona.
I won. I put UFA.
I'll give you half a point, David.
No.
Okay.
Points for effort.
Next.
Yeah.
That's Donadeo.
I know what that is. I've studied in there a few
I
times.
wonder why. What?
Yeah.
Perfect. Both get a point. And you can get an extra point if you say the other name of the building.
Donadeo Engineering Building.
It's actually called DICE.
Ah, DICE. I know it's DICE
What does the
too.
I, C, and E stand for?
Called Donadeo Innovation Center for Engineering.
Okay, yeah.
So that's DICE.
I knew it was Donadeo Center for something. Wait, I know where this is too. You know where this is?
My handwriting's really bad.
Perfect. Good job. Both of you get a point.
Where's this? Is it?
Oh, I know where that is.
Is it humanities?
You're competing with each other.
Yeah.
No, is it? No. I think you're wrong.
I think I'm right.
No, it's a law
Uh-huh.
library.
That's where I worked as well.
I know where this is.
Oh,
Okay.
that's an. This is hard.
I could describe where it is.
She's writing a lot.
I'm just describing it. I don't know the name.
Both of you are wrong.
You said it's in sub.
I knew it. I mentioned CSIS.
Yeah.
Student Innovation Center.
But that's not on your board, so yeah.
I mentioned
It's like
before
right at
that.
the entrance to biological sciences. I just couldn't remember what it's called.
You're really into that building, aren't you?
Hey, I know what this is called. Where is that? I've never seen that. Is it? He probably has it.
David won. David got 10.5, Ashlee 8.5.
Oh. H5.
Hits.
It's because I looked. I'm kidding. H6.
Hits.
H.
Hits.
H2.
You sunk my ship.
Oh. I still keep going, right? Okay. B7.
Miss.
David, what kind of notes do you take?
If I were to take notes, I would do it the style where you write the topic on the left side and then on the right side is the content.
Is it like the Cornell notes?
Yeah, that
almost?
thing.
That's a little different, but yeah.
Is that what you do?
It's kind of like you write keywords and then you write like
Yeah,
a summary
exactly.
and like the main points, or like the main
Mhm.
points here and then the summary at the bottom. Okay. I think I'm going to hit on B10.
Miss.
David's cheating.
David, on your.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katya.
And this is why she's pretty sick.
Ashlee, do you do anything specific right before a class begins?
Actually, yes. first of all, I make sure that I check that I've completed all the readings for the class. I usually do this about an hour before the class begins.
An hour?
Yeah.
But what if you have like a class before that?
Well, then I do it all in the morning that same day, and I make sure I've checked before every class. I also make sure that all of my notes are open, and I have the Google Slides downloaded if it's a class that they post the lecture slides for. That way I can take notes directly onto the lecture slides. Also, if, for instance, it was a class that I have a quiz in, I'm always one of those people who does last minute studying and last minute goes over everything I could possibly learn for that class.
Of course.
I think it's
Okay. E3.
David, how much time do you usually spend at university? In a day?
In a day? Less than 4 hours. Just because if I do have to attend a class that's in person, I would only go there for that class and then come back home.
okay.
If I know I had to have like a break in between two classes that's like an hour, I would head home. Yeah, I don't know why. You know, I'm just that type of person to run out of a class and head home. Yeah.
All right.
Your turn.
Let's do H10. Please.
Miss.
No. I don't think I'm ever going to get a hit.
Ashlee, do you prefer physical notes and textbooks or online versions?
Okay, so I used to take physical notes in first year, and I used to think it was a really good idea to just write everything down because there tend to be a lot of research studies that kind of say writing down notes is really good for memory retention, right? Instead of typing them up or doing something
Like using
like
a blue pen to take notes as well, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
They say it makes you remember things more.
So I used to like write notes a lot. And then I found it was really wasteful. And I also found it really hard to find specific parts of my notes that I needed when I was studying.
Yeah.
And I was hardly paying attention because teachers kind of talk fast. So being able to get everything that they're saying down onto notes, you're basically just focusing on trying to get the words down instead of what they're actually saying.
And if you lose it, it's gone.
Exactly.
Like on a cloud, yeah.
So I do prefer to take notes online. I will say I did type notes for some classes, and I still will if they don't post their lecture slides. But in second year, I invested in an iPad, and then I started taking notes through that with an Apple Pen, just because I found it a lot easier to still be able to get that experience of writing notes, but being able to also search through them just because it would read my writing. And then if I ever wrote anything down important, I could search keywords and then they would pop up and I'd be able to find stuff in my notes like that.
It's pretty smart, actually.
Yeah. And so I really enjoy doing that. And I also appreciate when teachers do post lecture notes online, just because I'll just annotate those, and then that way I can pay more attention and be more actively listening during class.
We love that.
Is it your turn?
It is. C4.
C4. Miss.
It's a miss, but it's a wild miss. What we're going to do is we're going to play another quick little
game.
It's a quick quiz. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, listen carefully. I'm not going to repeat myself. And I'm not going to pause. I'm just going to keep going.
Wait.
It's like taking notes in class.
Yeah.
It's the same experience.
Okay, so you're going to keep reading a question. 12 questions?
Yeah, 12
and
questions.
And we have to answer
in a row.
while she's reading them.
Makes
I'm
sense.
so scared.
Yep.
Question 1. If you were to encounter the letter that sits just after the one that comes second in the alphabet, which capital letter would that be? Question 2. Considering the shape with the fewest number of sides among all polygons, how many straight edges would you count? Question 3. When you combine the number of fingers on one hand with the number of days in a week, what is the result? Question 4. Which celestial body often associated with the color of rust and iron oxide, is the fourth in line from the sun in our solar system? Question 5. In the making of a common staple food that rises when baked, what is the primary powdered component derived from grains? Question 6. Who was the individual that founded the UAE and has a grand mosque named after him in Abu Dhabi? Question
Yeah, Ashley,
7.
tell me.
What is the term for the biochemical process by which flora harnesses solar energy to synthesize their nourishment, often involving chlorophyll? Question 8. What was the name of the famously unsinkable ship that met its fate on an iceberg-laden voyage in 1912? Question 9. What is the scientific notation for dihydrogen monoxide compound essential for life as we know it? Question 10. Which famous Canadian author wrote the novel Anne of Green Gables, a story set in Prince Edward Island? Question 11. What is the name of the geometric theorem that relates the squares of the lengths of the sides of a right-angled triangle to its hypotenuse? Question 12. Within the cellular structure, what organelle, often likened to an energy factory, is the site of most ATP production?
I like that this is based on Canadian school, other than one question in particular, which I'm writing David.
You get 30 seconds,
Okay.
and then you have to switch boards so you correct each other's.
Oh. You know that feeling when you take an exam and you
Yeah.
only find or you only remember the answer
Can you
when you're done?
Can you show the camera? Nice. The boards to the camera. All right. Okay.
Oh.
So I'm going to read out the answers now. Question 1, the answer is the letter C.
Oh,
It comes third in the alphabet.
I heard second.
Yeah, it comes after the second letter. Question 2, the answer is 3.
Yay, you got
Yay.
one right.
Question 3, the answer is 12.
Yes.
Okay.
Question 4, the answer is Mars.
Yeah.
Question 5, flower.
Oh, I think I put yeast.
Done for.
Wait, what did I put?
Put yeast.
Question 6 is Sheikh Zayed bin
Wrong.
Sultan Al Nahyan.
Wrong.
I put David Ragas because
Yep.
that's the only person I know from the
Okay.
UAE.
Question 7 is photosynthesis.
Are spelling mistakes taken into account?
No.
I know I
It's
spelled
alright.
it with an F.
It's like it's
Forgot.
barely legible, so grade 8. Question 8, Titanic.
Yeah.
Question 9, H2O.
That's not what you wrote, is it? What if I wrote water on there?
It has to be the
H2O.
scientific
Haha.
notation.
No.
Like an M, I think.
You have like NVO2.
What's NVO2?
I don't know. It just sounded like what is it? Dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 hydrogens, 1 oxide. 10 is Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Oh, who's Emily Smith?
It says Emily something, and it was just a random guess.
Okay. Wait, what?
11 is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or Pythagorean theorem.
Yay.
I wrote Pythagorean theorem.
You got it right.
What? That's what you wrote too, right?
Number
I can't read
12
yours.
is mitochondria. The
Okay.
mitochondria is
It
the
says
powerhouse
of
the
cell.
I knew that. I just forgot the word.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
9.
7.
9 out of 12 for
You got
Ashley.
7 out of 12.
Okay. 9 for Ashley, 7 for David, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Woohoo.
Wow.
David failed grade 1.
Actually, it was pre-K. So even before starting school.
We're talking about reality now.
Actually,
David.
C2.
Miss.
Oh, no.
David, what's your least favorite type of assignment? Essay, project,
Group projects.
presentation, short. All right.
You
That's
didn't even need a list.
the one that I hate the most, because it's like if I do bad on something, I can blame myself. But on a group project, if others do bad, I also blame myself because we're all responsible for each other, right? So it's hard for me to take all of that in
Yeah.
and have to take control and responsibility of everyone, even though I know it's such a good skill to have. But
That's hard though.
Yeah.
That can be hard.
especially when I had like 9 people in a group project.
Oh my god.
That was so much. I'm like, for group projects, if I fail, we all fail. Or no, that's not it.
If they fail,
If they fail, we all fail. I don't know. It's like we all go down together or something. Like, I'm not going to carry the group.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
That's fair. David.
Mhm.
C1.
Hit.
Okay, D1.
Hit. Yep.
F1. Have I sunk it yet?
You tell me. Yes, it's
Okay.
been sunk in.
Okay. Then I'll do D5.
Hit.
Yeah, no way. Okay. D4.
Also hit.
D3.
Miss.
Okay. Ashlee, have you ever pulled an all-nighter to study for an exam?
Unfortunately, I have pulled an all-nighter to study for an exam before.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
I've never and never will. I'm just saying.
The first time that I did it, I had a Monster energy drink, which I don't usually drink those things.
Why?
It was like 10 p.m. and I
Uh-huh.
drank one because I really, really, really needed to study because it was like a super dense course and I had hardly studied. I stayed up, had the Monster energy, had another one at midnight, and I was in the student union building at this point in time. Just like
That's the one
trying
that's
to get
open
through.
24 hours, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just trying to get through at this point. And then I started like vibrating, and it was at, I think it was 2 a.m. by the time I left to go home. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, I made myself sick, genuinely. Like I threw up, had like crazy anxiety about it. I ended up texting my, not texting, sending a message to my teacher on over email being like, hey, I can't make it to the exam because I'm
Really?
ill. I think I have food poisoning. But it was just like my anxiety was
So all
so high
that
at
work that you
point.
did and you didn't even attend the exam.
I ended up deferring it, and I probably should have deferred it in the beginning anyways because I had 4 exams in a row that week, and that was horrifying.
And I think that's an important thing to know, that is that if you're not feeling your best, you can defer an
Yeah.
exam. Like, it's not the end of the world, right? F7.
Miss.
David, have you ever fallen asleep in a class?
In person, no, but over Zoom, yes, I have. So this one time I fell asleep throughout the whole class and woke up, and it was like my professor and another student talking, having a conversation. And then she was like calling my name because I was the only other student there. And I was like, it woke me up from my sleep, and I was like, no, I don't have any questions. And then I just left. That's it. Really nothing much to go into, but technically I have fallen asleep.
Let's do E7.
E7 is a miss.
That sucks.
Ashlee, you mentioned the Pomodoro technique.
Yeah.
What other systems or methods do you use to study?
Okay, so I actually started using cue cards, but I actually use a app called Anki or Anki.
Anki?
I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Anki.
And is it like flashcards or something?
Yeah, and it's online flashcards. But the way it works is that you spend your however much time to just input all the information onto flashcards. So that in and of itself is studying, right? And then once you start going through the flashcards, every single time you go through one, you can say, okay, how well did I know this? Was it really easy? Was it difficult? Was it okay? Was it good? I've also tried just like, I want to say it's like word vomit, but it's called active recall. Just kind of like going through my notes, reading what I have written down. And I find this is really helpful for exams that I know are going to be written and that I'm going to have to basically like put word vomit on a page. So when I come across these types of exams, sometimes I'll spend time with like a whiteboard or even just on my iPad. I'll go through all of my notes. And then I will close that down and I'll quickly write down everything I know about a specific topic that I just got over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last turn. Come on.
You shall never sink my ship.
F1.
Miss.
I thought so. Okay.
Have you ever skipped a class just to relax and take a day off at home?
Numerous times. A lot of times. So especially since I know that my class is going to be like all online, I don't even attend the recorded ones because I know I can just watch it again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah,
see
well done.
Who has the most hits.
I think it's a tie.
Well, actually, I think I sunk more of David's big ships because I sunk his 5-notch ship, his 4-notch ship, and his 3-notch ship.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
3,
10,
4, 5, 6, 7,
12.
10, 11, 12. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Also 12.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a tie.
No. How do you have 12
Just
when you have
to
10
know
on
who
mine?
is the winner. Unless
No,
we
but don't
just
count
got
your
a
own.
tie.
Count mine.
Oh,
So David actually lost. David lost.
it was actually 10. I was counting my own.
Oh my god. Okay,
So
so
I
Ashley
got
won. Congratulations, Ashley. Are we done then?
I think we're done then. So
Yeah,
see you
done for the
everyone
day.
on our next episode.
I'm taking it apart. We are officially done. I have beat David at this game.
Okay.